last week. I did not get to Word of the Day Wednesdays, as you guys know, for the last year, because it was a year in September. Hi, Rudy Rush. It was a year last September when I started Word of the Day Wednesdays, and I started piggybacking off of my blog. So because I didn't get to do, thanks for the support, because I didn't get to do my Word of the Day Wednesdays last week, I'm going to combine both of them. So the blog that was released last week is the Level Up, and then the blog that was released this week is You're Someone Else's Gold. So hi Seth. So we're going to talk about the Level Up. First and foremost, my name is Nicole D. Miller. I'm an author. And my latest book is Stories for the Urban Soul, which is a compilation of short stories, novellas, and poetry depicting Black characters dealing with everyday life issues, from heartbreak to social injustices to parenting to friendship to college life, a host of relatable issues, specifically targeting our community, African American urban communities, and infusing faith and spirituality. So hope-filled, encouraging, all that good stuff. You can learn more at NicoleDMiller.com. And the interesting thing is, I'm actually traveling right now, you guys. I'm visiting New York and I'm doing market research for my upcoming novel. So the novel will be released early 2023, so stay tuned for that. Yes, college life, Seth. So getting back to our Word of the Day Wednesdays, every week I dialogue about the latest blog, the one that was released last week, the Level Up. I basically shared about how I had to switch my mindset in order to scale my business. And you will hear so many entrepreneurs talk about this. So many people, wonder how you can grow, how you can build, how you can scale and expand. And a lot of it is our mindset, you guys. Our belief system can be so limiting. And so for me, I've talked about this a few times. I have found that I didn't even view myself correctly in terms of being a writer. Even though I had these books published, I literally had 2 books published and still didn't see myself as a writer. That probably sounds crazy, right? But the backstory is because my focus and career, my degrees were in business, I just saw myself as a businesswoman. Like, writing to me was artsy, and the underlying lie and belief system that I had was that who makes money writing? Like, you hear that term, starving artists. Writing is an artistry, right? So I'm like, why are you trying to be starving out here? I'm a business person. And so because I had that limiting belief, it was keeping me from really fully stepping into my purpose and calling as a writer. I talk about in the blog a conversation I had with someone who viewed me and saw where I was before my mindset changed and I was able to view myself as a writer. And she asked me the question, like, did you get a coach? Do you have a coach? That seems to be the biggest thing right now with entrepreneurs, is that you need a coach. And I'm not knocking it. I feel like everybody has their own path. For me, I personally have not used a coach in scaling my business. I am very self-motivated, very driven. But what I shared with her, and when I thought about my journey, with me it was a need for healing and a mindset switch. So because I had such a hard season before my last book got published, I was out for the count, I was going through the motions, I was in a recovery season. And that's why you have to know, like, where people are at. How many times do we see where someone's at and we immediately make judgments? We look at their behavior, we look at the way they're moving or their language, and we make judgments. We all do it. But you never know a person's story, right? So when I thought about it, it was like I just needed to heal and I needed to surrender. Because I kept feeling like God is closing certain doors, my business, bookkeeping business isn't going where I wanted to go, etc., etc. But I was too afraid to pursue the artist route because, again, that mindset, limiting belief, false belief, who makes money writing? So once I surrendered, gave into what I knew God was calling me to do, came into alignment with that, and I received a level of healing from the recovery of grief that I was experiencing, everything fell into place and then doors started opening. So it wasn't necessarily a coach from a person per se, but I believe the Holy Spirit is my coach. So I felt like I got coached spiritually. I also have a great support team, so that has helped so much. I'm in a part of mentoring groups, writing groups, working on my writing, workshops, getting my gifts stirred up that's inspired by other people's gifts, reading a lot. All of this takes place, right? So in the blog post, the Level Up, I just encourage us to move forward in what we're called to do by first changing our mindsets, changing our belief systems, and renewing our minds. And this does have to happen daily. This does have to happen often. We usually default back into lies, into the falls, into those toxic belief systems that can hinder us, right? And that's why it's so good to have that support network of people who are like-minded, who are renewing their minds daily, who are, trying to scale, trying to advance, trying to evolve, trying to get to that next space. So that's why your tribe is also important. Okay, so the next vlog, which was this month, is You're Someone Else's Goal. And I feel like this vlog does connect to the previous vlog, because you can't be somebody else's goal until your mindset is right. People are only going to start esteeming you, looking up to you, because you're walking in purpose, doors are opening, you're advancing and accomplishing certain things. You can only do those things when your mind is right. So I do want to make that connection. So in You're Someone Else's Goal, I basically talk about how I have received that compliment and I'm taken aback. I'm taken aback again because the way that I'm wired, I'm so focused on my goal. I'm so focused on the other people who are my goals, right? There's plenty of people out there. And I talk about this in my blog. I did an interview with an amazing woman. Her name is Leah Lewis. She actually is hosting the Glossy, the Great Lakes African American Writers Conference in Cleveland, which will be held next weekend. I'll be there. Or should I say this weekend? I'll be there. So she's amazing. She's goals for me, okay? And I talk about that in the blog. But the cool thing is, what I had to realize is the reason you're someone else's goal is because you have already gotten to a space where someone else is still progressing in. There's always people that are on their way to where you're trying to go. And I think it's so important for us to look back, A, so we can see how far we've come, B, so that we can appreciate what we've gone through, like especially if you're type A, goal-oriented, driven, and you feel like you're just called to this other higher space. We can take for granted what we've already accomplished, right? But there are other people behind us that we've been the trailblazer for their path. And so that was a really good a good meditation for me. And one of the things that I talk about in the blog is that quote by Marianne Williamson. I want to read that quote because I feel like it's an encouragement for us to remember who we are, to see the light that we have so that we shine in this earth. So I'm going to read this quote by Marianne Williamson. It's pretty well known, so you may remember it. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. Love that post. I think it's just such a good reminder of who we are, the light that we have, the power that we have, the call that we have, that each person has to manifest the divine. Whether you believe in God or not, I believe that there's definitely a higher power that we're made in the image of. And we on earth have that calling to manifest that spiritual truth, right? So that's what I aim to do with my writing and my books. If you want to learn more, go to my website, NicoleDMiller.com. Stay tuned for blog posts. Definitely sign up for my newsletter. You can sign up at NicoleDMiller.com. And I will be at Glossy, as I mentioned, this weekend. That's probably the last event that I had this month, I was at the Lit Cleveland Incubator, which is a free festival workshop writers conference for Clevelanders, and that was amazing. And like I said, right now I'm on this trip doing research, so you guys are going to get updates from me in that regard. And this is a very exciting time for me, you guys, because this novel has just been a birthday. I haven't birthed it yet, but it has been like an impregnating. Like, I cannot wait to deliver this book, baby. But the cool thing is I got to meet with my editor. Shout out to Gwen. Got to meet with my editor yesterday. We literally had a 3-hour fellowship. And it's so wild because I connected with her through Permission to Write, which is a writers group geared towards African American women. And she was my writing coach. They offered like 3 free sessions. And as soon as I heard like where she was from, I knew I definitely need to connect with her on this novel. So I ended up hiring her for my novel. She got me all the way together, y'all. I mean, I'm still tweaking the novel. That's why I'm in New York, because I want to get other details. But she got me all the way together. This novel wouldn't be as fully developed. My characters wouldn't be as fully developed. The plot wouldn't be as interesting. Like, so grateful for her services. So you guys will hear more about that. But I'm going to let y'all go so I can get on the move. Thank you for joining. If you want to learn more, you can email me, NicoleDMiller1983@gmail.com. You can follow me on Facebook. My Facebook business page is blowing up, y'all. I don't even know why. It's like all these followers are coming out of nowhere, and I'm just going with it. So my Facebook business page, facebook.com/HCOHB, which stands for How to Overcome Heartbreak. And once in a while, I tweet on Twitter @NicoleDMiller. All right, thanks for tuning in to Word of the Day Wednesdays, and I will see you next week.